Today on Ag Etc., Brityne Rucker is at the Corn Fed Ethonol Seminar. She talks with Jake Comer, who is with Casey's General Stores. He talks about the importance of offering biofuels to their customers. Then Brityne talks with Robert White with Renewable Fuels about how they use TV shows and music events to promote the use of ethanol. Then meet Sara Gammon from Kansas State University, who is one of our young leaders in ag. And we'll wrap up with Dr. Dan Loy of Iowa State. He talks about the research they're doing about single trait genetics in cattle. It's all coming up on Ag Etc. Stay tuned.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.
Kansas Farm Bureau has served farm families and rural Kansas for more than 100 years, and we're pleased to offer new healthcare coverage choices for Kansans in 2020 through Kansas Farm Bureau health plans. No matter what stage of life you're in, we'll have options that fit your lifestyle. Plus, our network of providers is one of the largest available throughout the state of Kansas and beyond. For more information, including the different plans available, or to get a quote, visit kfbhealthplans.com.
I dug trees by hand for years and years and years. In the process, I wore out my rotating cuff. But when I learned about this process, I thought if there's a way to get rid of this pain, then I wanted to do it. So we did it, and it worked. I'm not going to go out and dig trees with a shovel anymore, but I can do the things that I want to do now.
This segment brought to you by Sure Crop, liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
I'm Brityne Rucker, and this is Ag AM in Kansas. I'm at the 2020 Corn Fed Ethonol Seminar, and with me now I have Jake Comer, Casey's General Store Fuels Pricing Manager. Now, Jake, just give an overview of really Casey's as a whole.
Yeah, so Casey's, we're a convenience store. We have 2,200 locations across 16 different states, and what we really do, and we do quite well, is we sell really good pizza. But recently, we're really making a lot of efforts towards biofuels. So what you're seeing us do now is sell a lot of E85 and E15 and even biodiesel, where a few years ago we didn't sell any of that. So we're up to about 230 stores with E85 and E15 right now.
And really, you're focusing on serving rural communities.
Yeah, very good point. So over half of our stores are in towns of 5,000 people or fewer. So we're really kind of uniquely aligned with the ag economy, with that farmer, those rural people.
And something you're really focused on is implementing E85 and E15.
Yeah. So we've been working with Kansas Corn. They've been great partners for us. We went from 0 stores selling E85 and E15 in Kansas out of our 166 to 23 in about a year and a half, 2 years. And with this partnership, we're going to expand that quite a bit. Yeah,
going right along with that, expand your partnership between Casey's and Kansas Corn.
Yes, they help us with, everything. So everything from putting E85 and E15 into the ground, where we should buy our E85 and E15 from, and then really what's most helpful is the boots on the ground at our stores, engaging with customers, telling them that ethanol actually isn't scary, and that you can put it in your vehicle and it's fine. A lot of our stations we can convert to E85 and E15 pretty easily, especially the newer ones. A lot of the pumps are already capable of it. You just have to change out some hardware like the hose and the nozzle, and from there you're good to go. Some of the old ones are a little bit harder, take a little bit more money, but the newer ones, we still got a lot of them. There's a lot of them out there that you can convert to E85 and E15 without a ton of effort. Yeah. With Kansas Corn helping, that effort, those expertise, they provide all that.
So really, what is the cost difference between upgrading those?
Yeah, so if you already have the dispenser that can offer E85 and E15, all you have to change out is really the hose, which that's like $100 each. So it can be as simple as that, and then you're just looking at labeling, maybe changing, put it on the sign, changing that face on the dispenser, but that's pretty minimal.
So Jake, what is your take-home message for producers and people involving ethanol?
Yeah, the biggest thing is outreach and buying the ethanol. For the industry, the more that ethanol sells, the more you're going to get, the more stations that are going to adopt it. Because really, what we're trying to do as a retailer, any retailer, you're trying to sell what the customer wants. So those boots on the ground, talk to your neighbors, buy it yourself. That's what's really going to drive E85 and E15 adoption.
Well, perfect. Well, a big thank you to Jake Comer for being on the program. I'm Brityne Rucker, and this has been Ag AM in Kansas.
I'm Bob Swartz, and I've devoted the last 43 years to helping Kansans reach their retirement goals and to protect the family farm. At Bob Swartz Financial, we believe everyone should be able to live the retirement they've always dreamed of. Our team of professionals can help you create an efficient strategy using a variety of investment vehicles to help you address your financial needs and your concerns. Bob Swartz Financial values commitment and transparency.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Wheat. Learn more at rediscoverwheat.org.
I'm Brityne Rucker, and this is Ag AM in Kansas. I am at the 2020 Corn Fed Ethonol Seminar, and with me now I have Robert White, Renewable Fuels Association Vice President of Industry Relations. Now, you're working to drive and expand demand for American-made renewable fuels and bioproducts worldwide. Kind of go into your efforts of that. There's been television programs.
Yeah, so the last couple of years have been pretty active on television. Started with American Chopper on the Discovery Channel. Mm-hmm. We had a bike built by Paul Tuttle Jr. of obviously American Chopper fame. That program was debuted in over 210 countries and translated in 97 different languages. Dang. And all we were trying to do was kind of reverse some of the misconceptions around motorcycles and ethanol. Yeah. And the cool part about it was we got to do it in over 200 countries. Yeah. This past year, we've kind of flipped the script a little bit. We went to Amazon Prime to a show called Hawk Machines, where we built a nearly 1,200 horsepower Jeep Wrangler powered by E85. And the whole premise there was last year we did the motorcycles, this year we wanted to move to the off-road community. Mm-hmm. And really the idea was not to chase the fuel gallons that are in those two minor markets. Mm-hmm. But if you'll put it in a motorcycle or in your hopped up Jeep, you're probably going to put it in your car and SUV at home. So it was really trying to relay the benefits and in some ways the cost savings for those markets and how they can use more ethanol. And you are truly in different markets, even in fishing competitions. Right. So another one of those very vocal groups that doesn't understand a lot about ethanol just because of the misconceptions that have been there over the decades is the boating public. So the outboard motors, the inboard motors, jet skis, Sea-Doos, that type of market. We partner now with Crappie Masters. There's a national trade group of crappie fishermen across the country. 3 years in a row, everyone's using E10, 10% ethanol, approved by every boat manufacturer, but still a lot of misconceptions out there. And it's been fun to watch because they're educating people from Washington State to Florida and every part in between. Robert, you're also trying to reach the younger demographic with efforts of music festivals. That's right. Millennials' number one spin, music festivals. So twist my arm, I'll go to a music festival and see if we can educate them on some ethanol. So we're going to start big, and we're going to go to Summerfest outside of Milwaukee, Wisconsin this late June, expecting over 1 million people in attendance those 3 days, and so we'll see how that goes. Now, you also are a part of a website effort. Right, so we own and manage E85prices.com, and we encourage folks to report the pricing experiences they have on E15, E20, E30, and obviously E85. And in the summer months from Memorial Day to Labor Day, we'll even give a lucky winner $50 in free fuel a day. So we encourage folks to participate. Now, you kind of went into this, but social media efforts on ethanol only continues to grow. It has to. It has to. The opponents of ethanol or agriculture in general are getting stronger and more vocal. They're paying trolls. They have fake accounts now. So we have to continue not only our corporate stories, but our personal stories, because that's what resonates at the end of the day is the personal story. We think about a movie or a book, most of the ones that really ring home are the personal stories, and we have to continue to tell that, how ethanol is important to Kansans, but also all of America. Now, Robert, kind of a take-home message for people in Kansas, but nationwide about ethanol. Well, I think the take-home message is the power of the industry. In some the communities that have ethanol plants, it's been the most important thing since the railroad. and we have to continue to promote this industry, and all of us are involved, whether that's asking their local retailer to stock it if they don't, and telling their friends and neighbors about it. So we ultimately create a little bit of a mini army, if you will, of advocates.
Yeah. Well, a big thank you to Robert White for being on the program. I'm Brityne Rucker, and this is Ag AM in Kansas.
Ag Promo Source is a unique group of marketing specialists with one mission: help your ag business grow. Each affiliate has their own area of expertise, and they work together to bring you advice, products, and services. To get started, visit agpromosource.com. Ag Promo Source. Together we grow.
Sure Crop Fertilizers was started by my father, Don Sherman, and my mother, Shirley Sherman. Family business that started in the 80s. We predominantly focus on plant nutrients and what we can do to give growers better responses with the fertilizer dollars that they do, and what we can do to make those things work better for that grower. We're based out of Seneca, Kansas. We work with growers in their soil analysis to figure out what they need, and then we can put those in a blend that gives them the best results, and so that we can deliver that direct to their farm, so that they have those nutrients where they need them, when they need them, and so that they can apply them in a manner that's very efficient to them and works well on their planting systems and what they're doing. Sure Crop Fertilizers has been around for a long time. We always say we're big enough to take care of everything you need, but we're small enough to do it quickly. You can get a hold of us at 1-800-635-4743. Our website is surecropfertilizers.com, and you can always email me at Corey@surecropfertilizers.com, and with any questions you have, we're glad to answer it and work with you.
Kansas Corn reminds you that E15 fuel is the right choice for every kind of driver. For the car enthusiast, E15 has higher octane. For the thrifty driver, E15 is priced lower than regular unleaded. For the nature lover, E15 provides cleaner air. For the shopper who buys local, E15 has more ethanol from our Kansas corn farms. Choose E15 for a higher octane, lower price, cleaner American fuel. Message from the Kansas Corn Commission. Learn more at kscorn.com. Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. Your stem cells, your health, your life.
I'm Brityne Rucker, and this is Ag AM in Kansas. I am at the 2020 Young Farmers and Ranchers Conference in Manhattan, and with me now I have Jay Hill, and you were the keynote speaker on focusing on empowering individuals to achieve goals in trying times, especially producers. Now, Jay, what is your top 3 things that producers can focus on to be successful in farming?
I think the biggest thing that we've got to look at right now is just being able to diversify ourselves. The status quo of what we do as farmers and ranchers is one of those things that I think that we've got to continue to push the boundaries on. I think to be successful, we have to change the system that we're in. If someone's going to sit here and actually think that the agricultural system that we're living in today as a price taker instead of a price maker is going to work, I think we have to figure out truly what we can do to change that. And then the third thing is changing that and the status quo through leadership. Having people that are going to necessarily ask the tough questions, that are willing to walk into the boardroom and say, listen, this is not working. Just because our generation before us and the generation before them were doing the same thing, it's time for us to actually take a hard look at what we need to do to change the future of agriculture. And so I always hope that my message comes across as one that's going to inspire somebody to do something that's going to create positive change. At the same time, I think it's really, really important that we kind of look at where we're at in the world economy and understanding, is agriculture doing well right now? And we're not. And so we've got to change it. And the only way we can change it is to actually start to balk a system that's put us where we are today.
Yeah, and that really ties into the event, the Young Farmers and Ranchers here in Manhattan. So why are these events, and you kind of touched on it, important to the industry?
We have to, I think, like Farm Bureau and other agencies like Farm Bureau have not done the farmer any favors by just saying, come tell your story to farmers.
Yep.
Because if we sit here and we just preach to the choir, this is where we start to see this great big, build up on social media of, oh, poor farmers. They're just, life is just so bad to be a farmer right now. It's our fault. The reason that we're here today in this situation is not because our president got into a trade war. The problem is our industry has set us up in a way that we're going to be a price taker instead of a price maker. And so these events are so pivotal, and I just hope that somewhere out in the crowd somewhere, that leader is going to stand up and say, you know what? Yeah, exactly. What we're going to do is we're going to take the fight right back to the industry, and we're going to change what the status quo is. And
really getting out of that grandpa mindset of, generations did it before us. I mean, that's a big thing that you focused on today.
Absolutely, and I think there's so much to learn from the people that came before us. And honoring and understanding the heritage and respect that comes with those that have gone through ups and downs like we're going through now. But at the same time, the reason that they were successful is because they didn't row the same boat that their grandfathers rowed before them. And if they did, then it leaves the person of the generation today in even a worse spot. So I'm hoping that we see some people that get inspired, that we see change, that we start to see some of our big check-off programs and our boards and things like that to start really taking a look at, is this working? And if it's not working, then what are we doing to change it? Instead of just saying, well, we're going to build particle board out of soybeans or whatever it's going to be, we need to actually start looking at something at how do we change and shape the industry based on farming. And if it's not working, stop.
Right. And I mean, you really implemented that in your operation.
Yeah, absolutely. And if something does not work, then we're out.
Right.
And that's the thing, is you can't let your pride get into the play with this. And that's the hardest thing that we all do is, almost going broke in 2011, thinking about, what they're going to line my equipment up and sell it right in front of me is a humbling thing to go through. And for me to actually look back at it now and say, okay, I understand the mistakes that we've made, but we've got to push, and we've got to push in a way that's going to open an industry up to more success. And we're seeing that. It's the grumbling is starting to roar a little bit more, and that's what I hope to see.
Right, exactly, and that's the whole purpose of this Young Farmers and Ranchers Conference. A big thank you to Jay Hill, as he was the keynote speaker at the 2020 Young Farmers and Ranchers Conference here in Manhattan. I'm Brityne Rucker, and this has been Ag AM in Kansas.
Kansas Farm Bureau has served farm families in rural Kansas for more than 100 years. We're pleased to offer new healthcare coverage choices for Kansans in 2020 through Kansas Farm Bureau Health Plans. No matter what stage of life you're in, we'll have options that fit your lifestyle. Plus, our network of providers is one of the largest available throughout the state of Kansas and beyond. For more information, including the different plans available, or to get a quote, visit kfbhealthplans.com.
What if U.S. soybean meal were more than a commodity? If seed companies and the soybean checkoff built a better variety? That future is here. The time is now. To meet end-user demands, the soybean checkoff is investing in the compositional quality of soybeans, including meal. A message from the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
This segment brought to you by Farm Credit Associations of Kansas, lending support to rural America, and by American Ag Service, your DuPont Pioneer dealer.
I'm Brityne Rucker, and this is Ag AM in Kansas. We have our young leaders in Ag, and with me now I have Sara Gammon. Sara, tell me a little bit about your background in the ag industry.
Yeah, so I grew up actually in Drexel, Missouri, so just about an hour south of Kansas City. Really rural area. My town's really focused on the agricultural industry. I wasn't ever really directly involved. My dad owns a small residential construction company, but got really involved with FFA in high school and started raising pigs and fell in love with everything about the ag industry, and that's where I got my start with Farm Bureau also, was mostly through FFA and just my town's involvement.
Now Sara, you're at K-State now.
Yes.
How did your path lead you there?
Yeah, so I just going into high school didn't ever really think about K-State because everyone was like, oh, Mizzou, Missouri State, but I kept getting suggestions about going to tour K-State just because it's such a good ag school, and once I came here I fell in love, and I went on several other college tours after that, but just nothing compared, and I knew that this was exactly where I wanted to be.
Yeah. Now there is tons and tons of majors in the ag industry. How did you end up picking yours?
Yeah, so I'm majoring in ag econ and global food systems leadership, and I like math. I think I'm a very logical thinker, And when I came to K-State, I talked with AgCom, I talked with Ag Ed, Ag Business, and Ag Econ, and I just knew that that's where I wanted to be, and it fit really well with how I think, and there's a lot of different career options, and so I'm really excited about having the opportunity to kind of make the major what I want it to be.
And you're actually continuing your education?
Yes.
And going to grad school?
Yes.
Now will that be at K-State?
It will not. So I'm going to Cambridge in the UK for a master's in development studies, and so what I want to do in the future is really work with international development and food security, and so having that background in ag really leads me to be able to work with people in countries whose economy is heavily focused on the agricultural industry, and I'm very excited for grad school. And
how did that opportunity arise of going to grad school out of country?
Yeah, cool. I love traveling and I love school. So I have been abroad several times over the couple of summers that I've been at K-State, and knew that that's something that I wanted to do. And I think by going to grad school abroad, it's going to give me a different perspective and kind of challenge my ways of thinking, and that way I'll come in with a better perspective and an open mind.
Oh, very good. Well, a big thank you to Sara Gammon for being on our Young Leaders in Ag segment on Ag AM in Kansas.
At Farm Credit, we partner with America's farmers who work hard each and every day to grow the food that we all enjoy. It's not an easy task, but it's an important one. Farm Credit is proud to work with farmers and ranchers, lending support in rural America.
Clyde Sutton, Nest City, Kansas. Lived on this place all my life. About a year and a half ago, got to where I couldn't saddle a horse. The pain was terrible. Read about stem cell. First it wasn't for me, then they started doing neck and back. Went and had it done. As you can see, I saddled a horse. I'm still building fence. Love to shoot a shotgun rifle, and I'm able to participate, not like I used to, but nevertheless I can do the things I used to do, and life is good.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
This segment brought to you by Santa Fe Trail Meats in Overbrook. Let us help feed your family.
Selecting for just one trait can be ruinous in the cow-calf business. But it depends on how that one trait is related to others and how well you keep the others balanced. An Iowa State University research herd shows it can work out well.
We decided to single trait select because the industry doesn't do that, and someone needs to learn to find out, what happens when you do that. We wanted to see, what the progress would be for selecting for marbling over that time period, and also what some of the negative implications might be. And so this is kind of the retrospect in that regard.
At Iowa State's McNay Research Farm near Sheridan, Iowa, in 1996, Foundation Angus heifers were selected for marbling, or intramuscular fat. Ultrasound at the start gave way to expected progeny differences, or EPDs, from the American Angus Association.
And then over a period of time, it still was a selection for intramuscular fat, but using mostly the marbling EPD from the Angus breed to do the selection. So they've been selected for marbling for 20 years.
Loy recently led an analysis of the genetic and phenotypic results of that selection program and co-authored a research paper for the Certified Angus Beef brand.
If you're concerned about selecting for carcass traits or cattle that will do well in the feedlot because it may have negative effects on the reproduction in your cow herd or negative effects on your bull buyers that are looking for, heifer bulls or bulls that would be more maternal. I think we've kind of eased some of the fears there. I think there's you can select for high quality, for marbling, the traits that consumers want currently, and still have a functional, effective cow herd.
How this Iowa herd compares to the rest of the country's Angus across all other traits is mostly average, except when it comes to marbling.
This herd, the average carcass data, just to put it in perspective, the quality of this herd is, in the last couple of years, they've averaged about 57% prime, between 50 and 60% prime. They run virtually 100% choice, 97, 98% choice, and I believe there are 90% would be certified Angus beef or average choice and higher. So that's kind of where, if you select for marbling for 20 years, that's where you can be. And with where we're at currently, we were much lower in the Angus breed when we started. So you've got a head start if you're looking at doing this as a breeder today.
With the long-term focus on marbling in the herd, carcass quality is well past choice and on to mostly prime. That's a bit of a reset in the way most research projects have been written.
I do a lot of work with cattle feeders. We may evaluate whether a technology was negatively affecting carcass quality by its effect on percent choice. But in this case, they're 100% choice, so prime is the new choice. And I think as we increase quality of cattle and we start looking at demands of consumers and look at where we're at and where we're heading as an industry, I think we've moved the goalposts in the beef industry. Basically, if we're shooting for low choice, we're B students. And so as a beef industry, I think we want to be the A students.
As the market rewards those higher grades, ranchers can rest easy that producing better beef won't come at the cost of maternal functionality in their herds. I'm Bob Cervera.
Watch Ag AM in Kansas online at agaminkansas.com.
I'm Bob Swartz, and I've devoted the last 43 years to helping Kansans reach their retirement goals and to protect the family farm. At Bob Swartz Financial, we believe everyone should be able to live the retirement they've always dreamed of. Our team of professionals can help you create an efficient strategy using a variety of investment vehicles to help you address your financial needs and your concerns. Bob Swartz Financial values commitment and transparency.
Welcome to the Western Kansas Wildlife Travel Center, right here in my hometown of Oakley, Kansas. We're the front door of Western Kansas, located on 3 main highways, I-70, US 83, and US 40. And all those roads lead to history, beautiful scenery, and adventure, no matter which direction you go. We now have an IHOP. That brand that you've trusted up and down the road in all your travels is staffed with local folks, real people just like you and me, and we're waiting on you to join us. So for fun, adventure, fuel up, fuel your body, and let's have some fun.
At Farm Credit, we partner with America's farmers who work hard each and every day to grow the food that we all enjoy. It's not an easy task, but it's an important one. Farm Credit is proud to work with farmers and ranchers, lending support in rural America.